Good evening and welcome to another edition of HGP Sportcast for today, Wednesday, August 20, 2014. I am Jaden Samuels. In the news tonight, Janelle Eiffel becomes the first female basketball player to obtain a scholarship at Odessa College in Texas for the semester fall and starts in 5 days. Speaking with HGP Sport today, the baller mentioned that this is an opportunity she always hoped for and will be putting her best foot forward.
Feel proud of myself and happy that I actually achieved a scholarship to go to Odessa College, which is located in Texas. Well, first I had to train and be selected on the Guyana female senior team, which was taking part in a tournament in the British Virgin Islands, the CBC Games, the CARICOM Basketball Championships. There is where I was selected by the scouts to attain their scholarship.
Eiffel, who was also an outstanding performer at the just concluded Inter-Guyana Games, despite Guyana taking the runners-up position, had also made a call on the Guyana Amateur Basketball Association to give women basketballers a wider scope to choose from, and this can only be done if more women competitions are kept.
Yes, it was a part of one of my dreams. First, I wanted to become a medic, but I always play basketball, and along the way I've said if the chance came for me to become a professional basketball player, I will take the opportunity.
The scholarship caters for an associate degree which covers 30 months with an expense totaling up to $40,000.
Well, at first they had the timings. You never really used to get the time. More opportunities, like more games for female, because most of the time it mostly be male. They have male competitions, male this, male everything for male, and sidetracking the females. First, I would like the Basketball Federation directly to have more opportunities for female basketballers in Guyana, young and upcoming players. Which I would like to say to the females who would like to play basketball is like work towards your goal, and in the end it could be successful by them gaining a basketball scholarship just like me.
In football news, Alpha de Hammer United were deprived of the much-needed 3 points by Portland Timbers that proved too good, whipping them 4-1 as action in the ongoing CONCACAF Champions League continued last evening at the National Stadium. Let's take a look. After a relatively good start for both teams last evening, the Timbers had the final say, chalking up full points against Alpha, who showed improvements but just were not good enough for the visiting side. 2 goals either side of play earned Portland Timbers currently in 6th place in the Western Conference with a 7-10-7 record and 31 points, chasing one of 5 conference playoff berths. Full points against Alpha, who suffered their second loss in as many matches at home, having lost to Olympia as well. Stevie Zukani of Zimbabwe, and one of 6 players who have CCL experience, scored his first goal in Portland uniform when he slotted home the opening in the 18th minute of play, beating Ronson Williams in goal for Alpha. Such was the confidence of Portland on debut as they started the game playing a very high defense, but that changed as the game progressed and Alpha eased into some form going forward. Ronson Williams in goal for Alpha was called upon in the 4th minute, having to tip the ball over the bar from a well-taken corner by Michael Nanchoff. At the halfway stage, the locals managed to keep things on par after a free kick from about 35 yards out, taken by defender Barbosa Murillo after Gregory Richardson drew the foul. Murillo's shot, however, failed to hit the back of the nets. Well into the second half, despite the many changes from both sides, Timbers maintained the upper hand, leaving the locals in a defensive mode, but the visitors continued their dominance, and in doing so, depriving Guyana of their much-needed 3 points to stay alive in the competition. Let's turn our attention to some cricket news. Kieron Pollard and Dinesh Ramdin revived West Indies from 34 for 5 and with a 145-run partnership to win the first one-day international against Bangladesh in Grenada. Bangladesh, batting first, made 217 for 9 of their 50 overs, and in reply, West Indies 219 for 7. Here are the details. Kyron Pollard and Dinesh Ramdin fought to bring West Indies out of trouble and secured a tense victory, the absence of which could have raised questions over whether the sudden departure of coach Otis Gibson on the eve of the series had adversely impacted the side. Their counting-attacking stand of 145 forced Bangladesh to give up yet another great match-winning position in the first one-day international in Grenada. For nearly an hour into West Indies' innings, the happenings on the field mirrored the apparent confusion of it when Pollard joined Ramdin at the crease at 34 for 5 in 13.1 overs in pursuit of 218. The chase was on its last legs. They produced two timely and well-placed innings. Ramdin did the early running, ensuring building blocks were put in place after the rut that ate up half the batting order. He ran hard, fought gaps regularly, and saw to it that Pollard was not deprived of the strike. It was key that Pollard found his groove, and 16 balls into the partnership, he struck a straight six of Al-Amin Hussain. Boundaries started to flow as Pollard began to swing freely, but his head remained so still and his arms, hip and feet worked fluidly to smash deliveries into the stands. West Indies passed 100 in this 26 overs and Pollard got to 50 of just 39 balls. By the time Ramdin brought up his half-century in the 31st over, Bangladesh had all but given up. A small rain delay broke the flow of the partnership, but despite Ramdin's dismissal for 74 of 76 balls, shortly after the resumption, Pollard thundered on a little longer. He was dismissed for 89 of 70 balls in the 38th over, with West Indies 17 away from the target. Via marvellous running catch from Mahmudullah to give Al-Amin his fourth wicket, the tail, however, ensured their good work with the ball was not undone. More cricket news. Otis Gibson has ended his tenure as West Indies coach with immediate effect. The West Indies Cricket Board released a statement last evening that confirmed the board and Gibson had mutually agreed to terminating their association, ending the speculation that began after Gibson was absent from team training in Grenada on Monday ahead of the first one-day international against Bangladesh today. Richie Richardson, the team manager, will take charge of the side on an interim basis for the series against Bangladesh. The rest of the coaching staff, including assistant coaches Stuart Williams and Andre Coley and the bowling consultant Courtney Ambrose, will remain in their position. The board statement also noted Gibson's unwavering commitment and professionalism during his tenure, which began in early 2010 when he left his job as England's bowling coach to take charge of West Indies during his time as head coach. West Indies won 9 out of 36 tests and won 4 Test series, 2 against Bangladesh and 1 against Zimbabwe. That concludes our cast for this evening. Do remember to join us tomorrow for another edition of HGP Sport. I'm Jaden Samuels saying good night.